Chiamaka, we need this gas here to power industries, manufacturing, even a very small number that we have, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do. There has to be we have to sensitize the public for the usage of this, LPG. The awareness level in Nigeria right now is, very low. So the government has to do a lot in the sensitization of the public, at least to know the benefits of, using the LNG instead of the kerosene and the coal that will have, an effect on the environment.
But we're not powering enough of our industries with gas, so they're still depending on diesel, very heavy, dirty fuel generators, aren't they? If they use gas, which you can pipe all the way out of the Niger Delta, don't you think this will have impact on consumer prices and factory inflation?
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. But like I said, we still have to do a lot in the sensitization of the public. So in place of diesel, LNG products can be used for a lot of things. So it starts with us sensitizing the public about, not just the public, the companies, the manufacturing companies, the benefits of using LNG, which is even more cost effective than, the usage of diesel.
Okay, let's get back to the MPC today. In terms of the MPC on one side, then we have the Eurobond. So let's push things up a little bit. We're borrowing, and we need to use this money to fund the budget. What's your take at a financial derivatives company about the latest Eurobond, the coupon that the government has placed on these long tenor instruments?
Okay, it's actually good news considering the fact that we're recently downgraded by Moody's. So you would expect to see cost of borrowing go up. But surprisingly, the 10-year series for the 3 billion naira bond was about 6.5%. That, speaks to the level of investor confidence, in the country. And since the proceeds of this debt is going to be used to service the domestic debt, so we should see it will have an effect on the government's appetite for treasury bill rates. So we see in the following quarters, the rates on treasury bills especially would decline, considering the fact that government's appetite generally would be low for domestic debt.
Okay, let's spend the final minutes of this conversation, Chiamaka, with the MPC. What is in the MPC, or what should be in today's MPC decisions for average Nigerian consumer?
Well, like I said, there's this general consensus that the MPC is going to maintain status quo. But if we continue to see high interest rates in the environment, it should have an effect on the output of these products. And like I said, demand and supply. If the output reduces and demand is high, it will generally bring up the prices of these commodities. And don't forget, we still have the issue of disposable income. So if consumers don't have any money to spend, then it will have, again, an effect on these consumer companies, which will reflect, in the following quarters in the GDP numbers.
So when folks on the street ask me questions around GDP is good, 0.72% revised for second quarter, 1.4% in third quarter. The next question is this: can I take the GDP to the market? Can I eat the GDP?
Of course you can't eat the GDP, but like I said, the issue now for the consumer, for the man on the street, is how much can he pay for these products that the manufacturing companies are bringing into the market. So the issue of disposable income has to be settled. If consumers have more income to spend, then it will be good news for them. Yes,
but right now, is there any good news for consumers from this 1.4% GDP growth?
Well, I think it's too soon. I don't think we should be celebrating 1.4%. Like I said, take out agriculture, take out oil sector, the economy is technically in recession. So I think for us to even achieve the 1% full year growth for 2017, in the following quarters, we need to at least grow by 2%. And those problems surrounding, the growth of the real sector growth has to be tackled. Interest rates have to come down, for us to see improvement in the real sector growth, which will reflect in our GDP numbers.
Okay, so I'm going to shoot the final one to you. Where would you want to see the decisions today at 2 o'clock this afternoon, Nigerian time, past lunchtime? What would you like to hear from the MPC in terms of the key parameters?
Well, we are clamoring for, a reduction in interest rates. We need to see the real sector, we need to see growth in the real sector. But if, like I said, there's a time lag between policy and, the effect of those policies on sectors. So I think,
Chiamaka, give me some numbers. Give me some numbers.
For instance, let's say the CRR, for instance, if the CBN, there has to be an accommodative stand by the CBN. So if, for instance, the CRR is reduced by 100 basis points, there'll be extra liquidity in the system for banks, to lend to the real sectors. That's on the condition that maybe CBN says this extra liquidity coming into the system has to be channeled to, real sector growth. So, but this, like I said, the consensus is they're going to maintain status quo till first quarter in 2018.
Okay. Whatever it is, you folks want more money for consumers, for the banks to lend to the real sector than to the man on the street who would like to see taking the GDP to the market and perhaps put that in a fry pan and have a very decent meal. Thank you very much. Do have a very decent day. Chiamaka Madu, one of the economists and research analysts at Financial Derivatives Company. Let's get together again later in the week to further the conversation. Of course, by that time, we will have had the MPC on the street. They will have a lot to digest moving forward for the final full business week in November. Okay, let's come back to you, everyone, after the break. We have a bit of a different conversation coming up here on Business Morning. We're live to you from Abuja, Nigeria's political capital.